Hello and welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about the Detroit Lions and their news and rumors. It's your man Kurt Steele. On today's show, I go over keys to victory for the Lions versus the LA Rams. Do me a quick favor, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. If you enjoyed the content and you haven't subscribed already, go hit the subscribe button, man. It's free. It's free. It's free 99 and 53 cents. And we're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and we are currently at 1842. So go ahead, man, and join the Boss Up family. Now, if you are new to the channel, this is how we get down on our show. We look at Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we give our take on why we agree or disagree. For live shows, we do it a little differently. If you agree, put hashtag bossed up in the chat. If you disagree, put hashtag balled on. Tell me why, and I'll put it on the screen, and we'll talk about it together. No hot takes here, baby. Just natural debate and our true thoughts and opinions about what's happening with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. All right, now it's time to, see who's in the building right quick before we move on with the show. All right, first up, Bo Boo says, woo, boss is good. Give us the good word, Kurt. I will today. All right, JDC, hi all. Michael D says, what's up for? What's up for? Okay, dope. Okay, I get you, brother. Money, cash money, definitely. Pink Floyd money. I wish I had some more. Definitely. Howdy, bosses. My man, Brent DeWitt. Salute to my fellow veteran. JMO Unleashed incoming. Oh, yeah, definitely. Michael Huck, my man. Michael Huck, man. I had a privilege. I've said this several times before of hanging out with him a couple years ago at the Lions Panthers game down here in Charlotte. And it was a great time, man. Great dude, man. And my fellow veteran as well. Dale, what up, Dale? What's going on, man, with the MCDC avatar? JDC again, boss up, man. UP, Doe Crew, go Lions. What's up, man? My man, King SJ is in the building, man. What's going on, man? Hookadoo is in the building. What up, Doe? The bus driver taking people to school, baby. What's up, Big Boss Steel, man? What's going on, man? Now let's look at the topics for today's show. Keys to victory on the offensive side of the ball. And of course, the same thing on defense. And we give you a quick update on some injuries on the Lions front, man. Look kind of good. Lions looking kind of good and healthy. And at 8:15, we're definitely going to have my man Dan Thornton from Lions Talk Live. So the Dew Crew, your man's coming over, and he's going to give his thoughts because we kind of, talked about it a little bit, but I want to see what he has to say on what I have to think. I think about the keys to victory for the Detroit Lions versus the LA Rams. First up is the offensive side of the ball. Man, look at this thing right here. Gotta be more careful. But here are my keys. 3 keys to victory for Ben Johnson and the offense, because you got to have some good stuff going on in the offensive side of the ball to get a win. First up, we got to control the line of scrimmage. The Lions have one of the best offensive lines, if not the best, in the NFL. LA has a new defensive front that is young. They're talented, but they're young. The Lions need to lean on that run game and wear those guys down for the bulk of the game. I mean, just start the game off running the ball. And in that second half, you're going to be able to utilize that stout offensive line just to kind of lean on them, man. And, you get Montgomery going in that second half and you get Gibbs going, man. It could be some tough sledding for those young guys. Now, I'm not saying that they can't make some plays, but I just think our offensive line has the advantage against their defensive line. Second, put some pressure on the middle of the field. Look what the Lions did last year. Josh Reynolds lit up the middle of the field last time these teams faced each other. Of course, we know he's in Denver, but the Rams have new starters at linebacker and in the secondary. St. Brown, LaPorta, and Gibbs should be able to exploit that middle of the field. You look at St. Brown, he lives in the middle of the field, and so does Sam LaPorta. And he didn't get that much run last year in the playoff game just because of the fact he was coming back from that knee injury. Didn't have a big performance, but he did have that nice touchdown. So you look at those 3 guys, man, and of course Gibbs out of the backfield. He's a matchup nightmare against any linebacker, especially some guys that are pretty much new to being starters because all their starting linebackers from last year are not there. They're gone, man. They're somewhere else. So you look at that, definitely. And then the last key on offense for me is test that new secondary with explosive plays. The Rams lost one of their starting cornerbacks to the IR yesterday with a hamstring injury, and J-Mo. You talked about it in the chat. J-Mo unleashed. I think he has a chance to take the top off the defense, along with Jahmyr Gibbs, and make some explosive splash plays out of the backfield. Rams just have a new offense and a new new defense and a new defensive coordinator. It's going to be hard for them to keep up with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams just making explosive plays. I think that Ben Johnson can scheme this up where they can definitely take advantage of what's going on with that Rams defense. So let me know in the chat, man, what you got to tell you about this. If you bossed up, if you believe my keys are correct or wrong, or just, what you think about the keys to the game for the Lions offense, man. Let's get back into the chat. Just want to take some time now and say thank you to all the veterans. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. 26 years in the Army, served my country honorably. It's one of the greatest joys of my life was to serve. Definitely. All right, let's go. Football star, Dr. Detroit. He is always in. All right, Amy's in the building. Amy Spry says, just join your podcast, though. Glad to find you. Love talking about our Lions. Have a great day. We are down just a few games. Yes, man. We are what, 2 days in a wake up. Man, I cannot wait for Sunday Night Football. And that's the only thing about having your season opener on Sunday Night Football. It's like, gee, man, you have to wait all the way to the only thing that's worse is Monday Night Football on the opening week. But you have to watch all the other games. And then you have to wait until Sunday night to watch that football game, man. I love it, though, when they're going to play. Victory is a certainty. Rams, Darius Williams out with out. J-Mo will ball out. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit later on in the show. All right, boss up all the way, definitely. All right, Lions O-line will wear down the Rams. Then they impose their will on them. I think so, too. All right, Phil says, love the hat. Thank you. Working out a deal to get the merchandising where I can have these available again. I sold them one time, but I'm working with a distributor so I can get these hats back out, man. And that they're gonna have a little different where they'll have the podcast name on them as well. So stay tuned, man. They will be available coming up here shortly. All right, boss stuff for sure, definitely. King SJ says all good point. Control the time of possession is another I would add. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like that control the line of scrimmage. But yes, time of possession is going to be key. Because you want to keep Matthew Stafford in that offense on the sideline as much as possible. I agree with that. The roar from the jungle will be heard this year. Abso-freaking-lutely. I definitely agree with that 100%, man. All right, who could do? I'm on the same page. Boss up, man. Thank you. Hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help this channel with that YouTube algorithm, man. And, we just appreciate the support, man. We want to get this content to more Lions fans, as many as we can. So make sure you go ahead and comment, not just in the chat, but comment on the video on the way out. And make sure you give us a like too as well. All right, Phil says, concerned about our special teams. I hear what you're saying. I think that the Lions are going to do what the Chiefs did last night. As far as the kickoff, the dime kickoff, they're just gonna kick the ball at the end zone, just give it to them on the 30. This is what it is. Jack Fox, he's solid. The only guy, and I would have to say is a question mark is Jake Bates, but he's good inside 4 field, so I think he'll be all right for this first game, man. And he's kicking inside most of the year. 14 out of 17 games is kicking inside. I think he's going to kick indoors all the rest of the year through the playoffs because we're going to have home field advantage and we're going to go win that Super Bowl and down in New Orleans in another dome as well. All right. So, Kurt, you have the right keys to the ignition. All the Lions have to do is turn the key and fire up that V8. Go Lions, man. Man, and that V8 going to be in a box Chevy, man. You know how we get down. Hey, all right. So now it's time to turn over to the defensive side of the ball, man. Let's check out what's going on the defense. Here are my keys to victory for AG's group on the defensive side of the ball. First up, Aiden Hutchinson. Y'all know that dude, Hutch, man. He and his Mary Banner brothers must keep pressure on Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford all game long. The Rams are coming into Detroit missing their starting left tackle. We talked about that already. And they could be missing their starting right tackle with the ankle injury. He's been limited on and off, man, for the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if he's going to be able to be a full go for this game. You know, even if he does play, he's probably still going to be limited to what he can do. And that Lions will have a chance to eat in that pass rush because not just Hutch with Marcus Davenport, James Houston, Josh Pascal, Levi Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil. I mean, it just goes on and on. So we have a chance to definitely make a dent in that. I won't say it's patchwork, but I would say it's hobbled. The hobbled offensive line of the LA Rams. All right, the Lions rank second in run defense and needs to keep it up in this game because they got two dynamic running backs over there in LA. And Sean McVay has made it the point that he wants to run the ball this season. Just because their offensive line is banged up doesn't mean that they're going to change their game plan. You know, he's kind of like that, hey, I want to do this. We're going to stick with the plan until we don't have to. So the Lions need to be stout against the run like they were in the playoff game versus the Rams. They only allowed 68 yards in rushing last year in the playoff game for the Rams. So they kept Williams under check, but it's going to be you got a guy that comes in right behind Williams that's going to spell him in Blake Corum. We all know who Blake Corum is, Lions fans. Of course, we watched him at Michigan all those years. Guy's a dynamic runner, man, and he's small. He can fit through some small spaces, and he can definitely you give him a crack, man. He can definitely can go. So got to keep those running backs in check. And like LA, we have a secondary that hasn't played together much because most of them are injured, and the Lions don't play their starters in the preseason. I think we saw Terrion Arnold in very limited action. He was good, but we saw him in very limited action in the preseason, only in that first game. Now, they must communicate in that secondary to deal with that Rams passing attack because they are talented. We all know it, man. Puka Nacua is a beast, and Cooper Kupp is finally healthy, so he is a monster to deal with as well. If Stafford gets time, it could be a long day for the secondary if they do not talk to each other on the back end of the defense. And we all know that that's been a Achilles heel for that secondary under AG. They just have a kind of an issue communicating on that back end. So those are my keys for the defensive side of the ball. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely in the chat. Let me know. Boss up, ball out. Do I have it right? All right, we just get back into the chat. Definitely. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm right. All right. So it's a gas fuel fire breathing big block, of course, man. Definitely don't give Stafford time to get set. Definitely don't do that because that dude will light you up. 454 Fury, man. Definitely fireball from the 400. All right, Bo. It passes everything but the gas pump. Yeah, man, them things, some gas guzzlers, definitely. All right, we got Michael Powell says if the corners and safety play their game, it should be an easy win. I think it's going to depend. They're going to have to play their game, but it's going to depend on if we can get that pass rush going, man, because that's going to help in the secondary, getting after the quarterback, man, getting after those guys and making sure that they can get to Stafford, get him off his spots, man, and make him make tough throws down the field, man, and just keep him on his back. Yeah, definitely. I need Stafford looking up at the lights on the ceiling at Ford Field. All right, boss up points on defense as well. Hopefully we can force some turnovers. I think so. I think that we get at least one in the passing game. I think that pass rush would cause at least one interception where Stafford has to make it a throw in duress, and it's errant, and we get that pick off, man. Definitely. All right, Morning finally found your channel. Subscribe. Let's go Lions. People are underestimating Puka. He was torching us last year. I that was my key to the game on defense. Great Lake State guy, Michigan. You have to keep Puka Nacua under wraps, man. That kid is a beast. All right, so kind of bring in my guest, man. Y'all just saw this guy on Lions Talk Live. So let's bring him in. Coach Dan Thornton. All right. So we talked about some keys to the game on offense and defense. I'm gonna put them up on the screen. Then I'm gonna let you have a good minute to go and go ham on this thing. And you can just talk about what you need to talk about, man. First of all, on the offensive side of the ball, these are my keys to the victory. Control that line of scrimmage with that offensive line, best in the league, facing a very young defensive line in the LA Rams. Mm-hmm. Put pressure on the middle of the field. Use Gibbs, LaPorta, St. Brown. And because you saw what Josh Reynolds did to the middle of that defense in the secondary last year in the playoff game. And then test the secondary with some explosive plays. Get J-Mo out there taking top off the defense, and then Gibbs out of the backfield as well. So those are my keys to victory on offense. On the defensive side of the ball, this is what I said. Pressure Matthew Stafford. Keep the pressure. Hutch and his Mary Band of brothers need to just make sure you keep lighting that guy up all the game, because the Rams have that hobbled offensive line. It's banged up. I'm not saying that they can't, can't protect them, but it's going to be harder because we're at full strength and they're playing their backups. Backups are backups for a reason. And then keep those dynamic running backs under wraps, man. We all know what Williams can do when you let him out the gate, and Blake Corum as well. We have that second-rate defense and against the run coming in, and I just think it got better. I think you add a DJ Reader, I think Aleem McNeil is going to play better, and then our linebackers get after it. So I think that we can keep those guys under wraps, but you have to make sure you pay attention to those running backs because they will torch you. And I said Sean McVay has made it an emphasis to make sure that he wants to run the ball, and just because their offensive line is a little banged up, that doesn't mean that they will not run the ball. And then communicating the secondary, make sure that we have the guys in the secondary communicating with each other. They haven't played together, kind of have the same problem as the Rams. We have a new secondary that hasn't played together much, especially in the preseason because of injuries and all kind of things. We don't play our starters in the preseason as well. So make sure you communicate and hold each other accountable in that secondary, and make sure people are lined up correctly. But all right, my man Dan, you gotta do me a favor. I'm gonna give you 1 full minute. I'm gonna put you live. I'm gonna put you right in the front of the screen. So you got 1 minute just to go and just talk about the offense first, and then talk about the defense.
Let's do it. All right, so let's start with the offense. Yeah, I think controlling the middle of the field for the Lions is going to be key, because that frees up your sideline plays. So how you're best going to do that, you're going to do that with LaPorta, Gibbs, Montgomery coming out of the backfield when you're not running. And then also, we all know Amon-Ra St. Brown makes a killing there. Now, assuming I'm the Rams, know this as well, you're going to do what you can to probably sandwich or double St. Brown. Probably take him away first. LaPorta, this also means you're probably having somebody underneath or at him, and then somebody behind him over the top. So right there, the Lions, who I'm predicting the Rams will mostly have to be forced into playing zone coverage, are going to commit about, a little over 40% of their defense to those two guys. So what that does now is Jameson Williams is freed up to run deep shots over the middle or on down the sidelines. It could be they run crossers with him as well. But that also means that the Rams are going to have to focus. If I use this, here's your sidelines here for the field. Here's your middle of the field. The bulk of the D is going to have to be in this area to help stop the run, stop running lanes, but also stop the majority of the Detroit defense. I won't be surprised if they do a lot of what the Chicago Bears attempted or did do last year, and then the Green Bay Packers mimicked and mirrored on Thanksgiving Day. They're going to want to start by limiting the Lions' offense in that way. The Lions, how they evolved is they started using more, basically screens out to the flats and things deep up the sidelines to help pick apart those defenses, which forced them to expand. The more you force that defense to have to expand, the more Jared Goff is going to pick you apart. The more the rush lanes become wide open. Conversely, the defensive side of the ball, man, if I'm Detroit, I'm just sending all sorts of different types of blitzes after Stafford early and often. I want to test out and poke that offensive line for the Rams to see really, are they good yet? Are they going to be sound at communicating, switching? Are they going to have miscommunications? Here's a big one on stunts and pulls. So stunt, somebody's the inside tackles going out, the end comes around. If they don't negotiate that well, you'll have a free run at the quarterback and a free run and shot at Stafford. The more you start disrupting all their passing routes. The Rams have got to know this, so everything I'm anticipating is going to be a 3-step drop early in the game because that ball's got to be coming out of Stafford's hands fast, knowing that if they force the Rams into 5-step drops, Stafford's probably getting smacked around a lot. The good thing for Detroit is this is an Aaron Glenn defense that he has shown us last year and in the prior season. He wants to mostly play all man-to-man across the board. So if Rams are going to put, say, 5 offensive skilled players out there, that means the Lions are freed up, if they want, to rush 6 guys after the quarterback or even the running lanes to help stop Williams, Blake Corum, or whoever. Rams are going to be in a tough spot because everything is predicated offensively. I don't care who you are on the strength of your offensive line. If you can't block and open up a running lane, if you can't protect your quarterback, on offense is very limited. The more limited they are, defenders, especially the linebackers, now the secondary, understand they can start jumping routes and anticipating where the ball is going to have to come out on a hot read. So pay attention. If Stafford's spending more and more time in the first half at the offensive line, up there making adjustments pre-snap, that means there's probably going to be a lot of confusion, and a lot of confusion favors this Detroit Lions defense.
Hey, man, great points there, Dan. I appreciate you, man, giving me your thoughts and opinions on the keys to the game on the offense and defensive side of the ball. All right, so we got to do a quick update because got to talk about injuries. Definitely part of the game, man. And we just want to look at what's going on with the Lions injury and then a little bit on the Rams, what's going on with those guys as well. We talked about a little bit in the chat earlier in the show. So Iffy and DJ Reader were both limited. Iffy with the ankle, because we now know what was the issue that was plaguing him. And he was actually out there on the practice field. Wednesday was a estimated report because of the fact that the Lions practiced on Tuesday and not Wednesday. If you know anything about football, Tuesday in the NFL usually a day off. So, you know, as far as the players concerned, but with the coming into the week, they kind of just got back out there a little early. And then, but both of those guys were out on the field. Reader was working with the trainers on the side on Thursday, but if he was actually in the actual drills, he was limited. He didn't do the team drills, but he did individual drills yesterday. All right, Lawrence Strickland still continues to be out. I think he's going to be out for a little bit. He has some kind of thumb injury. So, and we all know, you know, he might have to putting a club on a defensive back is a little hard. I mean, right. You can put a club on a defensive lineman, defensive end, maybe even a linebacker, but cornerbacks usually rely on their hands a little too much for a club or a cast to play with that. All right, so heading over to the Rams, lost starting cornerback Darius Williams to the IR with a hamstring injury, and we talked about this. They're starting this. I think he believes he plays right tackle. Rob Havenstein has been limited with an ankle injury. So you look at those injuries, the Lions are getting healthy, and the Rams are losing guys. I mean, you look at this, I'm like, this is just a positive for me. I don't ever want to see guys get hurt. I don't want to see guys get hurt, but it's becoming injuries are becoming more of an advantage for the Lions because they're getting healthy and the Rams are going to have to play backup guys. So well, give me your thoughts on the injury front for the Lions and the Rams.
So let's just start with Strickland. I'm guessing he broke a thumb or something to that degree, because if you're not putting at least a soft cast on it or something, it's got to be a break. It's not a sprain. You're out there with a sprain, just heavily taped. So he's probably going to be out for a little bit of time. In regards to Iffy, it sounds like the Achilles, if he's out there yesterday, it was probably just a real good bruise. They're rehabbing the heck out of it. I still don't think he plays Sunday. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think, it's a real positive sign that the Lions medical staff have done a lot of good work rehabbing this thing with him, and he'll be able to play maybe in another week or two. In regards to Reader, I do think he'll play Sunday. I think he gets a limited snap count. I'm guessing 15 to 20 snaps. So probably just first downs. Anytime there's a first down, the Lions are on D. He's probably out there, and that's about it. As far as for the Rams, though, you're 100% right, Kurt. I mean, these guys are getting injured left and right. And with Williams getting put on the IR yesterday, they don't really have any time to really work in practice. Somebody else coming up. I know you mentioned earlier on my show that the backup to Williams is also dealing with an injury. So their secondary, and this is why I think the Rams are almost forced to play zone all over the place because they don't have enough guys to go man to man for a vast majority of the time against this Lions offense. So they're having to get in the air today, land into Detroit. And man, if you're a coaching staff, you're looking at the issues with the offensive line. You're looking at the issues with the secondary. It's probably not an ideal setup for them. I got to imagine Aaron Glenn is licking his chops trying to get after Stafford, knowing that, man, there's going to be so much noise with the fans, with the Do Crew, with the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast crew. Everybody out there who's in the stands are going to be yelling top of their lungs. You imagine 3rd and long. The Lions are just going to be rushing the heck. Nobody's paying attention to the run. Everybody's going to be after Stafford. Stafford, I do worry that he might get beat up pretty good this game.
Yeah, he got beat up in that playoff game pretty good as well. Almost suffered a concussion. Never want to see a guy get hurt, but they will definitely put him on his back. I think that they're going to have a chance to really put him on his back this game, and I think that crowd noise is going to be definitely he knows about the crowd noise in Ford Field, but I don't think it was ever this loud when he was a member of the Lions. But I don't think it ever got this loud. I mean, you're talking about breaking records. The Detroit Lions fan base, we're a loud, boisterous as far as when you get into Ford Field. We're just an average. We are a team from a fan. Not only say average, we're a team that a team of fans that supports our team, ride or die. Most of us have been around the Lions and been through a lot of losing and just hard times, but we're just joyful, and we're gonna make it hard on any team. It's gonna be like that Jets game where they were penalizing the Lions because of the fact that it was just too loud in the Silverdome back in the day. That's what I see happening on Sunday. Let's get back to the chat, man, for the last couple of questions, man, or because comments. Reader and Davenport will free up Hutch to get to Stafford. Davenport is sneaky undercover, gonna be a good addition to this team. He's healthy, and he's a hell of a pass rusher when he's healthy, and he has a great bull rush. You're talking about this. If he has created problems against our offensive line, which is one of the best in the league, just in practice, what is he going to do against this young, team of kind of backup offensive linemen for the Rams? This is, I see that happening. All right, the wall crushes the run. Air traffic control takes the ball out of the highway danger zone. Okay. All right, left tackle. The left tackle with Jackson out with suspension. Yeah. Woo! For Coach Dan, of course, for Phil. Hi, Coach. It's been a minute. Yeah, probably about actually minutes.
Right,
definitely. Take your earplugs to the game. If you got kiddies going to the game, get them the little headphone things, the little earmuffs, you know what I'm saying, the noise canceling, because it's gonna be loud in that thing, man. Phil, as the Rams have their you know what? Never mind. feeling the deja vu. Okay. A tale of two cities, Detroit up, LA down. Go Lions from JDC. Davenport and Houston will get sacks. I think that's kind of right. I think Davenport and James Houston will definitely get sacks in this game. I think they put Stafford on his back probably about 5 times this game. I think Hutch gets 2. And I think you get Aleem to get 1, Davenport to get 1, and Houston to get 1. What do you think about that, Dan?
I think, one of the best things for Detroit is how different Houston and Davenport are. I mean, you already kind of mentioned it. Davenport's a bull rusher, man. He's going to go at that left tackle, and he's going to collapse the pocket in a completely different manner. Now, you rotate him one down so that backup left tackle's facing him. The next play, he's facing Houston. It's just a vastly different setup, and I think both guys could have a real good game. I mean, I think the Lions' defensive front should have a good game. I think Stafford's in for a long night.
All right, look at that, Mickey. It's about that time. You know how we do it on our show. We get you a half an hour. We know you got to get to work. We get you in. We get you out like dominoes back in the day. All right, my man, Coach Dan, thank you for joining the show, man. Tell the people where they can find you and your content.
Hey, come on over to Lions Talk Live on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook, but Lions Talk Live every morning, 7 a.m. to roughly 8 a.m. Come join and be a part of the Do Crew.
Yeah, definitely. Have a cup of coffee or a Mountain Dew and join that crew over there, the Do Crew, man. It's a great hangout over there on Lions Talk Live. Make sure you follow us, the show, on your favorite social media platforms. Coach Mike Jones has a great shorts over there on his Wolverine Sports Talk. You know, LL gets how he gets down, especially on Instagram. And of course, you can follow your man Kurt Steele on your favorite social media platforms. Hey, like I said, tomorrow morning we will have a special quick show. We're going to do our final game predictions, score predictions, and go over the final injury report. And we'll have that tomorrow morning for you guys as well. Do your man Kurt Steele a favor. If you're having a good day, spread that joy. But if you're not, don't mess with anyone else's joy. For my man, Coach Dan, do me a favor with him as well. Whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For Coach Dan, because, you know, he be coaching it up. This is Kurt Steele, and I will holler at you real soon.